Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international war-winning author Emilia Mosensia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Emilia Mosensia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Emilia Mosensia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Emilia Mosensia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, and makes great gifts 24/7 for family, friends, and loved ones. Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Emilia Mosensia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Emilia Mosensia. Check it out today. Also support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can also buy me a coffee at the Mike Wagner Show at Buy Me a Coffee, and make sure you give generously today. We're here with a terrific duo based out of San Diego, a mother-daughter music team and a multi-genre classically trained musicians with Masters of Arts in Music and working as college music educators and travel around the world. Talk more about that. And of course, we have a wonderful mom who's a music director of the San Diego Jewish Men's Choir, Billboard charting and award-winning and critically acclaimed. And of course, got some great music. We'll talk about that. And her amazing daughter is an up-and-coming artist. She performed with Me and the Kids and featured soloists on Action Moves People United. And of course, they're music instructors in various colleges. We'll talk about that. And this latest release is basically having a dream and immigrating from their roots as well. We'll talk about that live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plush Studios in beautiful downtown San Diego, the amazing multi-talented mother-daughter team of I Had a Dream, Songs of an Immigrant. Ladies and gentlemen, the multi-talented Ruth Weber and her daughter, Emilia Lopez-Yanez. Ladies, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, it's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Well, it's great to have you guys on board as well, too. This is just history in the making with 2 wonderful ladies just collaborating together, especially a mother-daughter team. I love hearing that. So basically, you guys have been a music team for quite some time and multi-genre classically trained musicians with Masters of Arts in Music and work as instructors, in the faculty and more. You also travel around the world. And Ruth, you're a music director of the San Diego Jewish Choir. And Emilia, you're an up-and-coming artist. You performed with Me and the Kids and also featured soloist on Action Moves People United. And you also have an album out as well, too, which is called I Had a Dream, Songs of an Immigrant, and also some great music as well. We'll talk about that. And before we get into all that, guys, tell us how you first got started.
Oh, wow. Well, we've been collaborating since Emilia was like 3 years old.
Do you remember that?
Fragments here and there.
Come on, don't exaggerate. Go ahead.
When my daughter was 3 and my son was 8, we had like a little trio that we had it was called Me and the Kids, and we performed like at community events, and they used to have these border bookstores. We performed some concerts in there. We had an album that we sold at that time. And then when my kids got older, like my son wasn't really interested in doing that anymore. So we stopped and we did more classically oriented things, and just we circled back to the kids stuff a while ago. And we've been doing we had 2 children's release albums, but now we have this special project that we're doing, just like a family labor of love project.
And it does sound like it as well too. And Ruth, you're music director of the Billboard charting group, the San Diego Jewish Men's Choir, which toured nationally, received a lot of critical acclaim and very high praises. And you also were the co-arranger, director on the soundtrack of the multi-award winning film One Little Finger, and also you received your first film nomination in the Music City's Film Awards in 2021 for Best Music for Sustainability. And tell us more about your career and basically just how you got started music-wise.
I think I always knew that I wanted to be a musician. When I was little, my mom sat me on the piano bench by her side and we sang and played the piano, and I knew I wanted to be doing that all the time. And I did the same with my kids when they were little. We played music games in the car while we were traveling. We were always singing together. And so I was hoping that they would get bitten by the music bug, and they did. So that was great for me. And now it's just a joy to do projects with them.
And it sounds like it too. You don't need to go to a doctor if you get bit by the music bug. Just keep playing until it keeps biting you. And
right.
Right. And what was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career, Ruth?
I'm not sure if it was one precise moment or a lot of little moments that just pointed me in that direction. That was always like the one thing that I could do that seems like other people weren't doing it.
And who are your favorite artists, singers, and songwriters and musicians growing up?
Oh, I listened to a lot of like Joni Mitchell, Judy Collins. We listened to a lot of folk music when I was growing up, and so I always liked that kind of music. But I studied classical piano, so I was learning, classical piano music, and I like all genres of music, really.
That's really interesting. And who are some of your favorite classical artists, since we're on that subject?
Oh, I love Lang Lang's piano performing right now. He's like my new favorite, the piano artist.
And that sounds amazing as well too. And Emilia, thanks for being so patient as well too. And of course, you don't have to top your mom on this one. That you're basically an up and coming performer. You're performing with me and the kids. We talked about it. You featured soloists on Action Moves, People United, and you're also a music faculty teacher and in San Diego as well too. And tell us about that and how you got started.
Sure. Well, my mom sort of talked about how we got started because she really encouraged us to be musicians, and I feel really lucky now that I know, so many of my colleagues were not encouraged to be musicians. So we were really always being sent to choir and orchestra, and every musical thing we could be in, we were in it. So there was no lack of things for us to do in the music community. And we were really, I really wanted to play the flute in fourth grade when we got to start talking about band instruments. And my mom encouraged me to look into other instruments that were less common and popular. And I saw that the oboe sat next to the flute. And I thought, hey, that's pretty close. I'll try that one. And it really actually, as soon as I started taking lessons and playing the oboe, it just stuck. It was the perfect instrument for me. It always was very vocal sounding and very expressive. And I think because I also always had a love for singing, it sort of just kind of fell into place. And then I went on to study both in my undergrad, and then I did my master's in oboe performance and et cetera, et cetera.
Oh my gosh, that is so fascinating. And what was that one precise moment for you that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career?
That is a really hard question to remember the one moment. I think maybe my I remember when I was really young, I think it was only 5, I got asked because of my parents to go and sing with an orchestra in Mexico, where my
Oh,
dad is from. I got to sing a song called Light a Candle for a Christmas concert. And I was only 5 years old and I was really scared to sing. I mean, with a whole orchestra. And I went out there and I did it, and I got off stage, and I was always a very shy kid. And then I got off stage and I just knew, actually I want to do more of that. Yeah, that's for me. It's always the moment on stage, but I also love being part of something. So anytime I'm part of an orchestra and we're playing a really awesome piece, then I feel like everyone just hones in and it's time to start. Or when you're singing with a choir and everyone is doing the same thing, you're all there for the same reason and purpose.
mhm.
That's my favorite part.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I'm sure, Ruth, you're very proud of your daughter for that too, and just smiling
Yeah.
just left and right.
Yeah.
And also, who are some of your favorite artists, singers, musicians, and other songwriters growing up?
Oh, that's tough. We listen to a lot of different things. My mom was always exposing us to different things, but I remember, um, Mom, who is it that sang Happy? Oh, I'm a happy girl. That one.
Oh, yes. Gosh, I don't remember.
Something with an M, right?
Yes. I know country.
Yeah. And we listened to that album, I think, for 3
Oh,
years straight.
Wow.
I felt like
Because of me.
Emilia was my happy girl. So that song reminded me of her.
Yeah, we listen to a lot. I mean, I don't have one exact, I mean, I loved Celine Dion as a singer wise. And I think as an oboist, I was really inspired by the oboist Alan Vogel. He is still living, and I got the chance to study with him recently at USC, and it was just amazing. I mean, they're both very expressive musicians, and I think that's what I was drawn to.
That is really fascinating. I'm really enjoying this already. You also had some other singles released as well, too. Plus your brand new one, which is an album. We'll talk about your amazing careers and some of the accomplishments. But first, to listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forbes Riley, and Manelas. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Molson-Zia. Available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com on over 30 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, Wrinkles, and more. And for great merchandise as well, Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. Also support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, the MikeWagnerShow.com, and you can buy me a cup of coffee if you like at Buy Me a Cup of Coffee at the Mike Wagner Show, and make sure you do so as well. We're here with a terrific mother-daughter duo music team, and also multi-genre classically trained musicians on the Mike Wagner Show. Also faculty teachers as well too. And before we talk about some of your releases that you have, like Kakawanda Bay, the Spaceship that fell in my backyard, which won numerous awards. You guys had some awards yourself. And Ruth, you're also the music director of the Billboard charting group, the San Diego Jewish Music Choir. And tell us about your love for that, and also some of the awards as well too, like winning in the children's category. I mean, you've got a list that's just so amazing.
I think that the children's music holds a special place in our hearts because we began with that kind of music. And for me, when I get to do a performance with Emilia for little kids, it's just so heartwarming to see little kids come up and give you hugs, and to see little kids coming and wanting you to sign their CDs and learning your songs. I mean, our album Cocowanna Bay is about taking care of the planet, the 3 R's, and of ecology, basically. And I just love that we're able to teach sustainability to little kids at a young age, but in a fun way. And what do you think, Emilia?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can tell all the you've racked up a lot of awards through that.
Our last album, Cocowanna Bay, got a Parents' Choice Award, so we were really proud of it. And especially now, Parents' Choice Awards aren't going to exist anymore, so we are glad that we were able to get one, because there aren't going to be any more Parents' Choice. That in the pandemic that went away. And then we won a couple of Hollywood Music and Media Grand Prize awards in those competitions. And our new album has gotten some film awards, which is a new thing for us, because we had never thought of submitting anything to a film festival before. But our new album has some videos that we submitted, and so that was really fun to get something new like that as well. And one of our best awards was that we were grand prize winner in the John Lennon songwriting competition.
Nice.
And I think that was one of the most prestigious ones that we felt that we won.
Mm-hmm. And it does sound amazing as well, too. Before we talk about your latest release, you also have The Spaceship That Fell in My Backyard. And did it really fall in our backyard, or did you just happen to write about it?
That's where the whole sort of story began, is that we had this song created that my brother and my brother had come up with this wacky idea, and we sort of created this whole story that my mom would play this alien who landed in my backyard, and we would go on adventures and save the world together. So sort of, it didn't actually happen, but in our hearts it did.
And I think one's about to hit my yard as well, too. I might have to put a stop to that. So and of course, we'll get to the thing about with your latest album, I Had a Dream, Songs of an Immigrant, and you guys had some great praise for that. And tell us more about that album, and how'd you guys first get started on it?
Well, my grandmother always wrote poetry. She escaped from Russia during the Bolshevik Revolution, and so English wasn't her first language, but she wrote some poems in Yiddish and some in English, and she used to read them to us when we would go visit her when I was young. And then one day we went and we found out that she had burnt her book of poetry because she had read them to another resident in her building, and they had said that they weren't good. And we were horrified by that because they were all about the history that she had lived through in her life. And so we asked her to please try and remember as many as she could. And she remembered about 12 of them. And so I set a few of them to music as a way to kind of keep her legacy going. And Emilia and I performed some of those as like a little set on some recitals. And then later, I got the opportunity to have a sabbatical project, and I chose to do an entire album of the majority of her poems, and they're kind of in chronological order of her life, so they tell a whole story. We just found out today that it's going to be admitted as part of an exhibit in Israel, and they're in a museum there. And so that's like really exciting for us, that her legacy will live on there in the museum.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And Emilia, you can go ahead and contribute on your thoughts on the album as well, too. And, what inspired you and some of the background and your involvement with it.
Sure. This has definitely been the most amazing family project we've done, in my opinion, because it really encompasses so many we got to write my great grandmother's poetry, and my mom wrote such beautiful music to it, and then I got the opportunity to perform it, and so it spans over a few generations. And I thought that it's sort of my favorite part to talk about is how my mom would just wake up with these, oh, I know what the melody is going to be to this other poem, and she would call me and say, I have the new song, and it was magical. She came up with the most perfect melodies for those poems, and I just it's such an honor to perform them and to get to really fulfill my great grandmother's dream that she always had through us. And hopefully, she's smiling down on us, seeing all these things that we're getting to try and accomplish for her.
Mm-hmm. And of course, out of the songs and poetry as well, too, what are some of the poems that stood out for you guys, especially some of the themes to it?
My favorite one is Mushrooms, because when my grandma was just 8 years old, they were very poor and they didn't have enough food. So her mother sent her out into the forest to collect berries and mushrooms, and they lived on, that was a part of their sustenance. And so she had a poem about that. So that's the first poem in the cycle. And that just, the imagery of that poem really affected me and made me want to, that was the first one I put to music.
Okay. And then Emilia, how about you? Which one of the poems stood out for you, and what could you it's the story.
Yeah, my I guess it'd be my favorite poem is My Darling. It's very sad, and it talks about her whole life that she spent with my great grandfather and their relationship. And then when he passed away, she talks about it. And it made me think a lot about my grandparents when my grandfather passed away. And I just, it really made it just, and it gets to everybody every time we perform it. There's some way that you can find a connection to this song, and it's hard to perform it every time. So I hesitate to even say it's my favorite because it's very sad, but I really think that the emotion of it carries through beautifully.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like too that it just goes from how it all began up until up to the end as well too. And what can the listeners get from the album as well?
It's sort of, there are some really cute short poems that talk about happy things, and there are some very intense ones like My Darling. And there's one that my mom discovered her graduation card from her grandmother that she turned into a song. And so you can really expect a collage of different types of emotions. And and it's in chronological order. So it starts from the earliest point of her life that we have a poem from and it ends with a poem, Why Did I Come? Why Am I Here? To Look Around and Disappear.
Mm-hmm. And of course, it also says too that she also wrote about the daring escape during the Bolshevik Revolution, and that had to be quite daring. Nowadays it's almost like difficult to do, but that took a lot to escape during the revolution. Yeah,
she was only 16, and she had to go by herself starting when she was 13 to get all these papers, just travel all by herself to go get them, bring them back, and get them permission to leave. So she was in charge of her mom and her younger brother when they went. This political situation right now in Russia just mirrors what my grandma's story so much. I feel like it's so relevant to what our project was. The same thing that was happening to my grandma is happening again now. So, and I'm hopeful that the album points out just how much an immigrant values becoming a citizen here and having freedom to do, to live their life as they want to. and all the things they have to go to just to get to that place, you know.
And that is very interesting. Where can we find your album, All Your Works at?
Oh, you can, buy it on Amazon.
Stream it on Spotify.
Apple Music. Yeah.
Anywhere you think you can find an album, chances are it's there.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, we will certainly do so. And what's coming up for the wonderful duo of Ruth Weber and Emilia Lopez-Yanez, we'll find out just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia of Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the multi-talent duo Ruth Weber and Emilia Lopez-Yanez after this time out. We're back with the amazing duo from San Diego, Ruth Weber and Emilia Lopez-Yanez here on the Mike Wagner Show. We talk about the album I Had a Dream, Songs of an Immigrant, and also their other works as well, too, you can also find. And there was also something I forgot to mention, Emilia, that you also were a featured soloist on UNESCO World Peace. You had Dan Aykroyd and Alan White, and I realized it's like we've got to talk about that one since we talked about what's happened in the world. I totally forgot all about it.
That's okay. It's been a while. Yeah, that was an amazing opportunity. Again, my mom was also had one of her choirs featured on that album. It was a wonderful collection of different songs with also spoken word. I mean, featuring a lot of amazing people, and I felt very humbled to be on it with those amazing people.
And who would you say your favorite performer was? Who you worked with?
Well, I kind of love Dan Aykroyd, so I just hearing his voice was on the same project that I was on was like, no way. I mean, I've known him since I was a child.
Oh my gosh! Wow, it makes you wonder, where's Bill Murray in this whole thing?
Yeah,
right.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing! And of course, besides I Had a Dream and songs of an Immigrant, what else do you have coming up for us in 2022 and beyond, guys?
We just yesterday about completed this new single. You mentioned Mike Greenlee, so I wrote a piece with Mike Greenlee that hopefully will come out in the next few weeks or so, that I think is a really beautiful single that's kind of it's very sad also. It's memorializes the life of his partner, and Emilia was the singer on that single as well. So I'm looking forward to people getting a chance to hear that.
And we're certainly looking forward to as well, too. And who do you consider biggest influences in your careers?
Well, I mean, it doesn't hurt that I have a mom who is so inspirational. So definitely my mother. And I think lots of teachers for me, just who have really made an imprint on not just my performing aspirations, but also just the way that they carry themselves through life as musicians. I think, it's hard to be a musician. And so getting to know inspirational musicians is really nice.
And then how about you, Ruth? Who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
I can't pinpoint one right now, but I tend to try to model myself after different women artists. I know that it's a little that you don't see as many women producers or conductors as men. And so for us to put out an album that's just my daughter and I, that are, it's a women's album, I feel proud about that we're a mother-daughter duo, and I feel glad that we can produce something that we can be proud of, and also that I can be like, I have the opportunity to conduct an all men's choir and I am the only woman. I hope that sets a good example for other people too, for other women,
And of course, if you have all these awards too, like Billboard charting and everything, that has to be one heck of an accomplishment, especially in San Diego.
yeah, they were pretty excited when that happened. Yeah.
I'm so happy for you guys. And what's the best advice you guys can give to anybody at this point?
For me, it's like, don't give up, because, the best things started happening to me later in life. Emilia is already teaching college, and so I get to not only see what my kids have achieved, but I finally, I was hesitant to have kids because I thought it would stop my career, but actually my career includes my kids. So I wouldn't be doing all the things that I was doing without them. So never give up your dreams. Sometimes they come later than you think they will.
That's a very good point, and I like that. And Emilia, what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
I think to not stay within the box that people feel the need to put you into. As a musician, you can really span multiple genres, or, you don't have to say what they think a typical classical musician needs to do, or a typical pop musician. You can just do whatever makes you happy, and people will love it if you're having a good time.
I like that. Thinking out of the box. That is really good advice. I'll tell that to my kids. So once again, Ruth Weber and Emilia Lopez-Yanez of the album I Had a Dream, Songs of an Immigrant, on Mike Wagner Show. Guys, very big thank you for your time. You guys have been totally terrific. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you guys back. Once again, tell us about your upcoming project. What's your website? How do people contact you? Or can people purchase or check out your works?
Thank you, first of all, for having us. It's been
Yes,
such a
thank you
good
so
time.
much.
You can find us at ruthandemilia.com. You can also find us at our own respective websites. Mine is emilialopezyanez.com. I think yours is ruthmakesmusic.com.
Yes, which makes sense.
And you can find this album anywhere that albums stream: Pandora, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, anything you can think of. Just you can type in Ruth and Emilia, and you'll also find our kids' albums under Ruth and Emilia as well.
We certainly will do so. Once again, guys, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. We wish you all the best, and looking forward to having you again soon. You've got a great future ahead of you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. It was great to get to know you a little bit.